in an age of lawlessness and despair. The empire of man lay in ruins, torn asunder by civil war, and racked by famine and plague. Desperate, unscrupulous men deserted the temples of their fathers and gathered in forbidden cults, seeking the favor of the dark gods. And so it was, in the year 2301, that a Kurgan warlord named Asavar Kul united the savage tribes of the Chaos Wastes and made war upon the realms of men. The invaders entered the distant northern kingdom of Kislev and sacked its largest city, Prague. They sacrificed its people to their dark gods, and any who managed to flee were driven into the freezing wilderness. The Empire seemed powerless to stop the Chaos Horde, and many feared that the end of the world was at hand. But in the Empire's darkest hour, a nobleman from the south named Magnus rallied the people of the Empire to resist the invaders, uniting the warring Elector Counts in the process. The Imperial Army marched to the rescue of the Kislevite capital, fighting Kul's army in a massive battle outside the city walls. Joined by mighty heroes from all across the land, Magnus defeated Kul in single combat, and the Chaos Horde was scattered to the winds. Blessed by the gods and heralded as the true Emperor, Magnus returned to Nuln in triumph. But even as the old world celebrated Magnus's victory, the dark gods were planning their revenge.
Warhammer chaosbane. Wood of Skull.
The life of a wood elf is one of tireless service to the great forest of Athel-Loren, protecting it from those who would do it harm. Sometimes, however, it happens that a young Azrai is born with an urge to wander. An overpowering curiosity and a desire for adventure that will not be denied. Known as the Windborn, these wood elves can be vexing to their elders, but have the potential to become great rangers if their adventurous nature is properly harnessed. And so young Windborn are given leave to wander the wide world for a short period of time, no more than 100 years, to see all they can of the wider world before returning to the Athel-Loren and taking up their duties. You had been wandering the old world for little more than a year when you heard the news of Asavar Kul's invasion. A human named Magnus was raising an army to drive back the Horde. It sounded like an epic adventure, the very thing you'd left the Athel-Loren to find. And so you crossed the depths of the Great Breakvault to find the Imperial Army. That night, you slipped into the army camp and made your way to Magnus's tent, where you offered your services as a scout. Impressed by your skill, Magnus accepted and made you a part of his growing retinue. Thus began your first great adventure, guiding the growing human army across the Empire and into the frozen lands of the North. The great battle outside the walls of Kislev was more terrible than you could have imagined. You kept close to Magnus during the fight and joined him in the heroic charge that slew the Chaos Lord and turned the tide of the battle. After the battle was won and the dead put to rest, you returned with Magnus to the city of Nome, where a hero's welcome awaited you. But the noise and bustle of the human city has begun to wear on you, and the urge to wander has taken hold again. As the sun sets over Nome, you wonder if the time has come to leave the city and seek a new adventure elsewhere.
Okay.
It was an age of lawlessness and despair, a time of dark magic, treachery, and war. It is a night made for witchery and evil deeds, and across the city, guardsmen clutch their weapons tightly and count the hours until the dawn. Sleep is hard to come by on a night such as this. The air is tense, and memories of the battle at Kislev leave you restless and on edge. Suddenly, a peal of thunder shatters the stillness, followed by a howling wind that shakes the tower to its foundations. Foul magic curdles the air, and screams echo in the courtyard outside. The tower is under attack.
Something's happening in the courtyard. If it's trouble, the guards might need help. Ash and Oak! The enemy is here! I must get to the throne room and protect Magnus!
Okay, press A for the arrow. It's different all. Ya. Ese tipo. Estoy viendo cómo lo compro. está la prueba gratis ahorita los que son miembros de Go. This is your house, long pushing by press LB.
Thanks, Sigma, you're here. There's monsters everywhere. The tower's being overrun.
I'll deal with them.
Upstairs in the...
Upstairs. All is different. What is this? Okay, with your levels, charge the wing to skill, also will be at the skin, charge the menu to skill to the new speed points. Man, todo es diferente. No.
As you reach the throne room, the air seethes with foul magics. A chaos sorceress stands before the throne, and Magnus, the savior of the Empire, is caught within her spell. There is only one thing left to do. Shouting an oath to the gods of the forest, you ready your blades and rush to save the future Emperor. By the time you regain your senses, the battle is over. The sorceress is gone, leaving you and Magnus for dead. The shouts of angry men fill the throne room. But these are not guardsmen. They are witch hunters, the Empire's feared inquisitors, led by none other than the infamous Heinrich Voss. You are under arrest for the murder of the Emperor Magnus. Voss tried to tell him about the sorceress, but Voss refuses to listen. I see no sorceress here, he shouts. Only you and a room full of dead men. Confess your crimes, elf, Voss threatens. We will have the truth from you one way or another. After a week in the dungeons, you'll tell me everything I want to know. But before the witch hunter could make good on his threat, a commanding voice filled the room. Stop this madness at once! Teclis, Lawmaster of the High Elves, regards Voss coldly. Alessa has told you the truth, he said. It is you who have refused to listen. Teclis examines Magnus in silence. He lives, thank the gods, the High Elf says at last. But he is in the grip of a powerful curse. It is only a matter of time before he succumbs. No one outside this room must know what happened here. If the people learn that Magnus has fallen, then everything he fought for will have been for nothing. The fate of the Empire lies in our hands. We must find this sorceress and end the curse before it's too late. If Magnus dies, the Empire dies with him. There are dark and terrible forces at work in the city. If we are to find the sorceress and defeat her, we must confront the dark cult that has taken root in Nuln.
There is nowhere in this forest of stone that they can hide from me. By shadow and steel, the cult will pay for what it's done.
I saw you fight at Kislev, young Asrai. Your loyalty and courage is not in doubt. But be wary and do not underestimate your foes. They are more treacherous than you can imagine.
What is your command?
The attack on the tower came from the sewers that stretch beneath the city. So long as the enemy controls the tunnels surrounding the tower, our position here is vulnerable.
Bueno, mi humilde opinión, no quiero darle un veredicto todavía
Your
a este
first
juego.
task is
Pero
simple. Enter the
si va a
tunnels
ser así
and
todo el
drive
juego, la
the
verdad
cultists back from the
no me va a
tower.
gustar.
Kill
Porque todo es
everything
muy,
in
todo
your
es muy
path.
diferente.
But
Está bien
beware. There is no
todo,
telling what foul things await you
los
in the
trajes y
darkness.
todo eso se miran bien. Parece que tienen nuevos especiales. Bueno, ni tan nuevos porque se parecen igual a del 1. Pero lo único que no me está gustando es que solo ando con el arco. Cuando en el 1 y el 2 esta elfa traía el arco y espadas. Pero esperemos. Vamos a continuar jugándolo. Vamos a ver si me termina de convencer. Okay. It says certain most skill to recruit the energy before they come to use it. If you don't have enough energy, you don't can't use it to skill. Your generation by damning limited with basic skill. So buy the symbol. Okidoki. Bueno, vamos a ver qué es lo que trae este. Por lo que veo no me está convenciendo mucho, como vuelvo y les digo. Porque ahí cuando se juntan todos esos es como para que sacar una espada y empezar a limpiar. Pero como es como les digo, pues cuando se juntan muchos sería bueno pues que sacar una espada o algo. Ahí ves, cuando se acerca. Porque en el 1 cuando tenías la opción, en el 1 y el 2 en el 2 todavía también tienes la opción de que cuando se acerca mucho puedes sacar una espada. So, si ven aquí al lado izquierdo de pantalla abajo, hay como un magma blanco. So, ese es el especial. Cada vez que uso para tirar las 3 flechas va bajando. Si ven lo que les digo, aquí necesito como una espada. Porque si solo va a ser así con puras flechas, no creo que lo termine de jugar. Okay. I have the new arrow. So 93.3 for damage, for health 11.6. It is more better this. Okay. Oh, nice. Son unos boomerangs. Okay. Oh. fuera gustado que fuera, que lo fueran hecho de otra manera. Como que la verdad no me está gustando este modo así. Ese bomba era limpia. Watch it, look. Okay, ya estoy limpiando el todo. Okay. Lo único bueno que las flechas son infinitas. En el 1 y el 2 no, la munición era limitada.